time for Blumpkin and Friends, starring your host, the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Hey kids, I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin, and with me here today is my friend,
Neil.
Guess what I want to talk about?
I don't know.
Pranks. I want to talk about pranks, because we have a good legacy of pranks, mini pranks, all kinds of pranks. And with yesterday being April Fool's Day, why the fuck would I not talk about pranks? So, first and foremost, what can you remember about some pranks we have pulled over the years?
I mean, does this involve ones that are considered highly illegal?
Well, let's just not name places where they happen.
Okay.
But let's just say that a lot of prank phone calls have been made. We'll start with the prank phone calls, because that's like entry level. You can't do it anymore because everybody's got caller ID and the FBI fucking traces everything for every reason because they think everyone's a terrorist now. But I have a pretty good legacy of some pretty disgusting prank phone calls, many of which are videotaped by myself or Matt.
Yeah.
And Matt has the best ones, unfortunately. And I'm trying to get the audio. And they watched like 3 hours of them one day, a couple months ago. And the one I'm looking for is the one where I call the family planning clinic, Birthright. And they come on and they have a voicemail. And I leave a message saying that my girlfriend is pregnant and I don't know what to do. You know, we didn't plan on this. We weren't trying to get pregnant. This was completely by accident. It sounds like you're the place to contact to get some options. So I need to know, I mean, should I be pushing her stomach first into the corner of a coffee table? Do I trip her down the stairs? Can you give me some options on some places I can take her? Because I don't have a lot of money for abortions. That was a message I left on their answering machine. Yes, I know. Another good one, and I have the audio, but you can't hear it that well, is I called a party magician. And I tried to schedule him for a non-existent bachelor's party. And when I mentioned the date, he was booked up. And once he mentioned he was unavailable is where the call got funny. Where he's like, oh, I'm already booked up for that day, unfortunately. I'm like, damn. I was looking forward to it. We were going to have some strippers. We were going to have you there. You could have stayed for the strippers. It would have been a great time. We wanted to see some tricks, some things like that. You know, just would have been great. He's like, yeah, that does sound fun. It's unfortunate I can't be there. I'm like, well, you know, I'll keep you in mind for if I ever need you for my second wedding. And he starts laughing with me. I'm like, oh, God. Right. But more importantly, up north, there was a payphone.
Yes.
A payphone we used for many, many prank calls. Specifically, thanks to this one girl who took my virginity, who we lovingly call SS the SS.
Yes.
Even though Psycho doesn't start with an S.
Yeah.
But we called her Psycho Sarah the Super Slut. She was a whore.
Yep. So
back in the days, that was 1-800-COLLECT.
Yeah.
And I called her house, and her dad picked up.
Back in those days, to make a collect call, because I don't even think you can anymore, is you had a very, very small opportunity to say who is calling when they answer the phone. It says you have a collect call from, and you have like within a couple seconds you have to say.
That's what I was getting to.
All right,
bastard.
Well, but I'm saying you have to explain that that's how it's the collect calls, how they work.
So it would give you the option to give a brief 5-second snippet of who's calling to say your name. And one time I called, the first time I pranked her house, and this is what her dad heard.
Hello. You have a collect call from.
Your daughter's a slut.
Will you accept the charges?
He did not accept the charges.
No.
He did not. And the next time I called, right immediately after that was,
hello. You have a collect call from.
I had sex with your daughter.
Will you accept the charges?
Yeah. And there are many more, too, but I don't remember.
Well, that could have been anybody.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, is I don't think you can trace that because it goes through the the 1-800 collects phone system.
Well, I was more insinuating that it could have been anybody because she was a whore.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, is it could have been, he knows.
One of a dozen guys. God damn.
Yeah. By the time she was, what, 15 or what?
15. By the time she was 15, she had banged at least a baker's dozen of guys.
Yeah.
that's quite a few dicks for somebody who's not yet out of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, in terms of prank phone calls, people like the Jerky Boys got famous doing it. Oh, yeah. They had an entire show devoted to it. Crank Yankers that gave us special ed, and a character called the Juice, who would call shoe stores and rap at them.
Local radio stations used to do it.
Yeah.
There's one famous one, I don't know if it's a local radio station or worldwide, where they called some lady about her car that was in the shop and tried to tell her that she needed like blinker fluid and all this weird stuff, and then telling her it would be all this money. And that's a famous one, but everybody was doing it back in the 90s.
Were you with us the night that I sent an angry boyfriend up to IHOP to meet me to fight?
No.
We were making prank phone calls to random numbers out of other people's phones, and we talked to this chick who was sitting at IHOP, and we said we were 2 exits down the highway away from them, like a mile and a half, and we had a flat tire and we needed a ride. That we wanted to come up and have food with them. I'm like, well, where are you? I'm like, we're right by Main Motors in Anoka. If you guys want to come pick us up. Well, we're not just gonna like come and get you. Why don't you start walking? So I knew that was a lost cause, but I knew that somebody was at IHOP. About an hour later, we prank called somebody's girlfriend's cousin's little sister. Following along?
Yeah.
Well, the person's girlfriend's cousin had a daughter.
Okay.
So I knew this. And as I'm talking to the sister, I'm mentioning things about her that I might know, and it's starting to freak her out. I'm like, well, how's your sister doing? How's the baby? She's like, how do you know my sister and her baby? Her boyfriend grabs the phone. And he's like, I don't know who the fuck you are, but you're fucking lucky I don't know where the fuck you're at. He just starts effing this and effing that and making vague threats. I'm like, well, what are you going to do? You going to kick my ass? I'm like, if you're going to grab the phone and threaten somebody, you want to impress them, try to say something specific. What are you going to stab me with a screwdriver? Are you going to beat my face so hard that my eye pops out of my skull? I mean, try to be a little bit more creative here, Chachi. Oh, you're fucking lucky. I'm like, well, I'll tell you what. We are sitting in a booth right now in the smoking section of IHOP. This is before the statewide smoking ban. The smoking section of IHOP in Riverdale. Come on up. Come fucking, he's like, I'll fucking see you soon. Now, I don't know if he actually showed up there.
Yeah.
But when we knew that we had people that we had previously called that were in the back booth in the smoking section, they said they were the only people there. So we're sitting there laughing our asses off that I had made all kind of weird comments to this girl, and then I finally wrapped it up with talking about her sister and the baby, and the boyfriend got on the phone because he wanted to be chivalrous. I don't know what his fucking deal was. But I used to say things to people on prank calls, like I'd ask them, hey, do you remember Vietnam? They'd be like, no, I'm 17.
Yeah.
Like, you should never forget our veterans. And I used to tell people that I wanted us to fuck them like a pirate. This is long before I had honed my chops in doing vocal impersonations and such.
And do you also remember that it wasn't live links, whatever that stupid phone call center that was that we got for some reason we knew the woman's line that was free.
Yes.
And the men were supposed to call and pay. And we ended up making a ton of prank calls to the people, or basically prank messages on there, because that was just a messaging system, I think.
I was Habib and you were Fuck Meave.
Fuck Meave.
Terrible, fucking obvious goddamn. But we would talk in accents like that. This is Habib.
Yeah.
I would like to get in your panties. And women would take these calls.
Yeah. We got tons of messages from those.
They thought we were hilarious. And you got like X amount of free contacts out of it before it hung up on you. And unfortunately, right before I got some chick's number off of there, it hung up on me. Sons of bitches.
But the thing is, too, about phone pranks, I want to mention is, and you probably remember briefly when I worked at the telemarketing company.
Yeah, you've talked about this before.
I have on here?
Yeah, if people pissed you off, you'd sign them up for TV guides.
Yes. They'd get a magazine. And they hired a bunch of kids, and it's just like, we didn't care. And you could tell when, the guy was listening in. So this one guy I remember once who was kind of a stoner. This name on the name on the screen was like Mary and then Junta, like Juanta, like Wanta or like Junta.
Marijuana.
So he calls And as soon as she answers the phone, he goes, "Is marijuana there?" And I mean, we were like, that was the worst job in the world. I mean, like, it was the best, but you would never get away with that kind of stuff nowadays.
Not now. You know, I was so bored. I remember when I was 14 and my grandfather was having triple bypass surgery.
Yeah.
And I was sitting at the hospital waiting to find out if he made it.
Yep.
So to pass the time, I was flipping through the phone book for dirty names. And, God.
It's Harry Sack!
Yeah. And what inspired me to do that was an episode of Beavis and Butthead where they were going through the phone book and they found a guy whose name was Harry Sack. And they kept calling him.
Sack. Harry. Harry Sack. Harry Sack.
So with Harry Sack, they kept calling him and then flushing the toilet next to the phone. He was getting pissed. So because of that name, I'm combing to the phone book, and I remember this one name. Ignatius Kuntz. It was Cuhntz. It might have been Kuntz if she was smart, but the first name was Ignatius. So I kept calling Ignatius Kuntz.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
I miss prank phone calling.
Well, then we used to find, because like, how many pages of Harry Johnsons were there in the phone book?
Too goddamn many.
Too many. Harold Johnson or Harry Johnson.
We even did this when I was in like 5th and 6th grade when I went to Clem Haskins Gophers basketball camp. Me and Dusty were there, and we met some other kids, and we spent so much time making prank phone calls. That was when OK Soda was out.
Yeah.
If you remember OK Soda, there's a throwback, and they had the 1-800-I-FEEL-OK, and you were supposed to call and leave messages about your experiences with OK Soda, and I would call and just say really disgustingly sexually related stuff about it, like turning my pubes green or making me vomit on my girlfriend's tits while we were having sex. Keep in mind, I'm 11 years old when I'm saying these things. And we called this one number so many times because the business name was like JG Fog, but it sounded like JG Fuck. Or GG Fuck, so we kept calling him just to hear the receptionist say, "Good afternoon, GG Fuck." So we called them so many times that one time a different voice answered and it said, "Masterson County Sheriff's Department." I'm like, we never called them back.
Yeah. Well, didn't you used to call Grumpies a lot too?
I would call Grumpies and ask to speak to Grumpy, or I would call and say I left my wallet there, and I'd have them checking booths, and they'd keep checking. I'd be like, "Well, I was just fucking there. How the hell can it disappear?" "Well, I don't know. I don't have your goddamn wallet." They'd get so mad. Matt called Cub Foods once and asked them if they were giving out discounts as reparations for over 400 years of oppression to black Americans as payback for slavery.
What about when we prank called each other and our other friends?
Can you be more specific?
Well, I mean, every once in a while you would prank call me, but we were pretty good at like knowing when the other person was prank calling because you just know our voice, and you can only do so much with your voice, even when you're doing an impression.
Now I can do a lot of things with my voice.
Still. And my friend.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Thanks for bringing this up. I had a program on my parents' computer where you could type in words and it would speak everything that you said. So we called D.
Well, this is the earlier iteration of this too. I mean, you can do it on your phone now with Cortana and Siri and everybody, but this is like the old version of it. So originally you had to actually spell words weirdly so they would actually pronounce them right.
Yes.
And
it was a desktop computer.
Yes.
So we called him, and here is what he heard. He picked up the phone and he said, "Hello?"
"Hello, sir. I was informed by a mutual friend that you are the person to contact about purchasing some hardcore gay pornography. And that was crap. I mean the kind where guys blow guys while getting fucked by other guys. I hope this is true. Can you help me? I can't wait to see some hot guy-on-guy action."
His response, okay. Things of that nature. It sounds very juvenile, but it's funnier than you think because me and if you remember blue hair, called some random guy in the middle of the night, and we were prank calling him. And then once I got done calling the guy, then took over and said he was calling from the phone company about some unusual activity on their line. And the fucking guy was old, so he bought it. He's like, my wife is trying to sleep. She recently had heart surgery, and we just want the calls to stop. He's like, we'll monitor it.
Yeah.
We'll monitor it. So if you could just pick up the phone, and that'll let us know there's a connection so we could try to figure out who's doing it. So I called the guy back, and he picked up the phone, and I would just make, like, yelping dog noises. Like, ah! And then I hand the phone to, and he's like, hi, this is the operator breaking in. We do believe we figured out who's doing it, and we will take care of this for you. I was afraid we were going to end up getting fucking the cops called on us.
Yeah. Which
we came pretty close a few times, but thankfully, no. I'm glad you remember that computer thing. I would have forgot. Hot guy on guy action.
You're listening to Blumpkin&Friends.
And then I got a video camera for my birthday one time when I was about 22. And that's when we graduated to more complex pranks.
Yeah.
Ones that involved an air horn and my mother. Mm-hmm. And sneaking up on her all the time. And I guess I didn't think she was going to have a heart attack, but that's what birthed the soundbite that is the most overplayed soundbite in the history of this show, is this one.
Oh, God damn you! You son of a bitch! God, I'm so fucking tired of your shit! Keep that shit up, you're gonna be out of here!
Where I was outside the bathroom door, and my mom had just finished showering, and I honked the air horn, and what you hear her reacting to is, I thought she was out of the shower, standing on the rug. She was stepping out of the shower and almost slipped and fell. I scared her so bad.
But this has happened. This was after a week of you just doing it to her
in the laundry room while she was down on the computer. Anytime. My mom is so fucking easy to sneak up on. It's so great. I love it. So that, I mean, things of that nature. There were pranks we pulled where we went to Walmart and we purchased big glass vases.
Yeah.
And then we went public places, and I would hide behind something and record you walking with somebody else, and you guys would get into a playful shoving match, and then one of you would get shoved over and drop it right there.
But these were giant vases, too.
They were roughly the size of like a gallon milk jug or a half-gallon milk jug, yeah. So they made big, loud crashes. It's fucking great. And people would just look like, what the fuck? Because you'd fall down and it would shatter. Now, when you were talking about not naming certain things because of worries of us getting in trouble, we have done some egging in our day. I will say that in terms of egging, karma's a bitch, and it can be instant. Because one time I was over at house, and we were going to go egg his neighbor's house across the street. We were just going to lob eggs across the street to get on his roof. Well, it was winter, and I was sleeping over, so it was late at night. And we went on his back patio. Mm-hmm. And there was a patch of ice that was about a foot wide, and I was just going to hop over it.
Yeah.
I didn't make it. I jumped. I landed. My right heel caught the ice. I slipped. I fell backwards and smashed an egg on my shirt. But more importantly, I hit my head on his concrete back patio so hard I saw a flash. Eggs are fun to throw. Well, one night... in particular, you, me, and my ex-girlfriend were rolling around in her car, and we had egged some cars. And then there was the shopping cart thing at Walmart that got us stopped by a sheriff's department squad. He made us all get out of the car and asked us what we were doing. And we just said, we're bored, and we were just looking for stuff to do to kill time. And he's like, well, you must have been pretty bored, because that cart ended up about a block and a half down the road. He's like, you guys, you can't just be pulling pranks because you're bored. You know, like if say you were to go egg somebody's house, you know, we'd find out about it. And then you get in big trouble for that. It seems like a harmless prank, but it can really get somebody in trouble. And as he's saying this, we know full well that we had gone to a gas station and bought 3 dozen eggs about an hour and a half prior, egged about a dozen cars. And as he's talking, she looks down and sees some egg on the side of her car that had backsplashed from another vehicle. And she just wipes it quick behind her with her sleeve so he doesn't notice. So we came so fucking close to getting busted. Because I bet you 2 or 3 of those people called the cops the next morning to say their cars had gotten egged.
Yeah. Well, there was also an incident up there. And I don't know if you were busy or what, but I was hanging out with her and the girl I was dating at the time. And I think that it was the three of us, like, must have been riding around town. I don't know where. For some reason, you were busy, and we had bought eggs. This is a totally different night, I think. It might have been before.
Are you egging again?
We were egging cars, and we saw some friends that they knew, supposedly from up there. It was these guys, and so we threw eggs at them. They're like, "Oh, no, we know them. Get them with these eggs." And so then they end up following us and pulling us over, and they ended up, for some reason, decided to pull over in some random country road. Like, that's where they decided to pull over, and they're like, "Oh, hey guys," like, and then so the guy comes out of his car and he whips out a knife, and I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And
she wouldn't leave.
She would not leave. She got out of the car and goes and fucking tries to talk to him
because they knew him from high school.
Because they knew him. It's now. Like, what the fuck are you doing? This is like 3 or 4 guys, and of course they're not going to touch these. And they're pissed at me. They don't care if they were throwing eggs. Those girls were throwing eggs. They were fucking coming for me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And she wouldn't. Parks the car, gets out, and starts talking to him. Hey. The guy started walking past her with his knife in his hand, coming right at me, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And then finally, like, she talked to him and stuff, and like, I'm like, "Hey man, they just told me to do it because they knew you." Like, it's like, wow. That was, I thought for sure, I was like, I might have to fucking jump out of here and start hauling ass. Because I can't trust them to fucking get me out of here.
That was probably the last time either one of us egged anything.
Yep.
Do you remember when we used to go cart shopping?
Yes, that was always a fun one.
If you don't know what cart shopping is, it's where you go to a store and you grab like embarrassing items like condoms or douches or
just random items.
And put them in people's carts when they walk away for a second to grab something and leave them unattended. And then you hope that they don't notice them until they get up to the check stand and they go to pick it up. They're like,
yeah.
Why do I have this douche?
Hemorrhoid cream or something just completely embarrassing.
Suppository eggs.
Yes.
Good stuff like that.
Or even just, I like putting random things like rope. Just like a huge, just a big thing of rope.
You know what would be a good one to do now?
What?
Little girls' panties. Like a pack of little girls' panties.
No,
that's fucking funny, and I will do that right now.
Well, you have to know who.
But I will still... No, you just...
You have to know who the person is at the cart.
No.
Because they're there with their kids. It's like, okay, no,
If it's just like a guy by himself
then it's
with
funnier.
His wife, I am fucking doing that now. I'm going to bring back cart shopping. In fact, I'm going to teach the girls about cart shopping. I just need to teach them how to keep their mouths shut once we do it. Target's the perfect place to do that because there's so many fun items. Walmart, the structure of the store, the way it's set up, and the way that the white trash is usually tweaking on meth, looking around constantly like a wild horse would, watching out for danger.
Get some Extends and put some in there.
Do they have Extends at the store?
I think so, unless it's over the counter.
It's too bad they don't have like Plan B on the shelf.
Yeah.
I would throw that in people's carts.
Yeah.
But yeah, little kids' underwear. If it was just a guy with a basket, you just quick slip it in there and he gets up there and he's like taking out DVDs and then... Who doesn't want to make a strange guy look like a pedophile at the store? That's fucking classic.
Surprise!
Now, work is a place that I have played some pranks in my day. Bergie and I have a pretty good legacy of playing some decent pranks on the inmates, such as having universal TV remotes handy. Mm-hmm. And our desk is at an angle where we can face certain TVs in the building, muting the TV, changing the channel, shutting it off. The inmates, you hear them watching a show and they're like, "What the fuck is going on?" Getting pissed off. I mean, that one's a pretty simple one. But I guess you could say the meanest prank I ever played was years ago. It was a Sunday, and at lunch I talked about how there was going to be a volleyball tournament after lunch. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the guys didn't believe me. And this one particular inmate really was like, "You're full of shit, man. No way. No way." Like the way he was doubting me, but still kept asking me, indicated that he was really hopeful that it was not a joke.
Yeah.
So we got into this like back and forth exchange about it. He's like, I bet that's not true. I don't fucking believe you. I'm like, okay, well that's why there's like a giant case of Gatorades and a bag of volleyballs sitting on a flatbed on the loading dock right now. We're going to have gym time. There's going to be a volleyball tournament. It's open to anybody. When you get upstairs, you'll see that I already wrote it on the board, and I left out a sign-up sheet. And I had on the board written, "Volleyball tournament after lunch, 2:30 p.m., sign up now."
Yeah.
I let this go on for about an hour. The majority of the people figured out that it was bullshit.
Yeah.
But this one guy suddenly flipped and believed me and was going around trying to recruit people to be on his team, which is why I let it go for so long. So he comes up with 2 other guys. He's like, see, here's the sign-up sheet and everything, man. There's going to be a volleyball tournament. We're going to fucking go and play. And these guys are looking at him like, really? For real? I'm like, yeah, that's I. And he's like, this isn't real, is it? Because he could see the cocky grin on my face. I'm like, what do you mean? That's not fucking funny, man. I had my hopes up to go play volleyball. This place sucks, and I'm sick of just watching TV, and I wanted some good rec time.
Shouldn't have broke the law then.
Yeah. It's fucking Sunday. I'm bored. What do you want me to do? I mean, that was way back in like 2008 I pulled that one. That was classic. Although, and this is not technically related to pranks, but here's a story we were talking about last night. Bergie's working the desk, and I'm walking the floor, and I had to go out into this outside area where the inmates are intaked into the building. I didn't think anybody was coming through there, so I dropped a really sick fart. And as soon as I was walking away to leave that area, I hear him buzzing somebody in the door. So I had to quick hightail it back into the main part of the building, and I go back to the desk, and I tell him what happened. I'm like, you just buzzed in that female into that intake area? I just got done shitting my pants out there. I left a brown cloud of death, and she just walked into it. Like, I had to try so hard to sneak out of there without getting caught, being the one doing it. And I'm telling him about this, and then she's coming to our desk now, and I'm hiding around a corner of our desk area. And she walks up to the desk and is like, I don't know what's going on out in that intake area, but it smells like rotten eggs and ass out there. It's disgusting. You should go check it out. And he's sitting there like trying to hold the fucking laughs in. And I come around the corner and I'm laughing. I'm like, oh my God, that's hilarious. She's like, why do you think it's... Oh my God. Did you do that? You should go see a doctor. It's funny to crop dust at work because I can do them silently and walk through a crowd of people, and then they don't know who did it. Yeah. And then all of a sudden I'm walking away, and I hear somebody go, oh, who fucking shit their pants? It's fucking disgusting. It's the little things in life that make it worth living. Like prank phone calls about slutty daughters, or poisoning the air around the inmates with my dirty butt.
You're listening to Blumpkin&Friends.
In terms of April Fool's pranks specifically, we've talked about this. I'm going to touch upon it again. I don't even remember. This is like 14, 15 years ago. You and I made a jaunt to Shinder's. Shinder's was a baseball card collectible and magazine dispensary store. They had an adult-only section. We purchased a 3-pack of gay German porno mags with the intent of driving them up to our friend's apartment. Hi. And then taking various size photos of guys fucking other guys and hiding them all over the apartment for him to find later. Yes. He was dumb enough to have left the apartment unattended on his half. He and Lunchbox shared it. Yeah. And first off, I want to say that when we brought the 3-pack of magazines up to the counter at Shinder's to buy them, the guy just kind of looked at us funny. And I didn't think that we're buying 3 magazines that the title of the magazine was Homo, H-O-M-O-H. It was German. It was very German. And I asked the guy, I'm like, do you have any Scotch tape? He's like, no. Why? I'm like, yeah, it's not important. Yeah. And I'm like, you think he thought we were gay? Fuck.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I would go in there all the time to like buy legitimate things. Yeah. Music magazines or gaming magazines. And then I'd always stop to go into the adult section and open up random magazines and point to shit and go, oh my God, look at this slutty chick. You'd sit there and you'd say hilarious commentaries about what you're seeing, and the guys that were on their lunch break from work that were like in their 40s and 50s buying magazines for their masturbatory habits would just get really uncomfortable and leave, and it was fun to do that. But back to the point here. We go to the apartment. First off, he left his garage stall door wide open. So the first picture that we put was on the back wall of the garage, so that when he pulled in, he would see this thing, but not know what it was until he got up close. Yes. We went into the apartment, and there was a display bottle of booze, like an empty booze bottle, and we put a one in there. They had a Tony Hawk cardboard cutout on top of their wall-mounted AC unit, and we put one on the back side of Tony Hawk. Yeah. Under his computer keyboard, inside his pillowcase, underneath his sheets at the foot of his bed, inside an old pair of shoes, inside a cooler, inside of a closet we thought he'd never use, underneath the lid of the toilet, underneath the top of the tank of the toilet, underneath the bathroom vanity taped to a bottle of Listerine, inside the pocket of his tuxedo or suit that he would wear for only special occasions, so you know he's not going to fucking see it for a long time, inside the handhole of his genie from Aladdin ventriloquist puppet. And as I've talked about before, he was finding these for 16 months afterwards. That is a fucking awesome prank.
Yes.
He didn't find the last one, the one in the cooler, until he was moving out. And he was packing shit. And he called me. He's like, I just found another fucking piece of gay porn, and this better be the last goddamn one. I'm like, why? Whatever do you mean? He's like, I'm sick of finding this shit. Because every time he'd find another one, he'd call me. He's like, yeah, I had to go to a funeral today for that girl that died. When the train hit their car at the railroad crossing. Yeah, I went to put on my suit, and then I go to check my pocket, and there's fucking gay porn in there. Or another night where he was trying to impress some chick with his puppeteering skills.
What?
And he pulls out the Aladdin puppet, puts his hand on inside, and he pulls out the fucking gay porn.
See, I just want to imagine that, like, if he's trying to get intimate with his chick, and she's like, hey, do a little ventriloquism
for me.
He pulls out some hardcore gay porn. That just kills it. He just killed any chance of banging her that night.
And if you've never looked at German pornography, it's pretty fucking explicit.
Yeah.
There's not just like some dude standing there naked with his dick out. It's guys blowing each other. It's never like two guys. It's always a group of guys engaging in sex. I remember there was one where this guy is getting a blowjob from another guy, and his face is like, oh, like he's making the fucking O face, and the photographer captured it perfectly. Or another one where two guys are hoisting another guy up who's climbing a wall because he's getting his ass fisted. Who doesn't want to see anal fisting? I'll tell you who. The guy we pulled the prank on because he was raised Jehovah's Witness, and he was very homophobic. Gay stuff made him uncomfortable. That's why I always tried to revert to gay stuff with my pranks on him.
Yeah. The
following year, he was apparently gearing up to try to get me back.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, sitting at Lunchbox's townhouse with him and his now estranged wife. And I'm like, dude, I'm going to get him again. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, just hang with me on this one. He's trying to get me back. He wants to get me for April Fools. It's only like March 12th. He's not going to fucking expect it now. So I'm going to get him now. I cloned his MySpace page.
Mm-hmm.
And I portrayed him as a recently uncloseted gay man whose father was shunning him and was looking for some sense of community and friendship. So I joined like a handful of like gay support groups on MySpace and interacted with some people just to make it believable. And that didn't seem like enough. So I felt the need to go onto city pages into the people seeking people section, and I put a want ad for random gay sex.
Yeah.
And I explained that he was looking to get blown and things like that, and meet up with people for gay rendezvous. And I left his phone number, which is hilarious because he was laying in bed 2 days later, and he got a text message in the middle of the night. Are you into muss-mass? And then it was followed up by a picture of a big, muscular, hunky gay guy flexing with his shirt off. He knew exactly who did it, and he called me that day, super pissed. He's like, you fucking got me again? You're not supposed to get me again. It's my turn to get you. You fucking gave out my phone number? I'm like, whatever do you mean? You fucking know what I mean. He was pissed. I'm going to fucking put your phone number. I'm like, I wouldn't do that. Why? Well, my phone number is technically my parents' phone number because I didn't have a cell phone at the time.
Yeah.
This was in like 2004. And yeah, he knew that if he did it, I'm like, dude, if you do that, my mom is going to fucking totally call the cops on you. And my dad will be furious. So maybe find a better way to get me back. He never got me back.
Yeah.
It was perfect. So here's one reason why Neil's on the show this week. Not just because he's involved in so many pranks with me. What did you celebrate a week ago?
Oh, my birthday?
Your birthday. It was your birthday. That's why he's here today. I always like to have the friends on for their birthday. And Neil is here because he turned a whopping 35.
Mm-hmm.
You got some special birthday wishes, did you not?
Yes.
Explain this. We talked about this the other day. Tell it again.
This freaking random guy on Twitter. So I was streaming that day on Twitch, and I usually post up when I'm streaming on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So this random guy, who I assumed was you, he has a similar name, posted a ton of basically they were really, really gay pictures and said happy birthday stud, and he tagged me in all these pictures. It just said happy birthday stud and happy birthday and tagged my name, and they were all like super, I mean, I wasn't any nudity shown, but it was super like suggestively gay pictures. And I was like, huh. I'm like, as it was going on, I'm streaming this.
Explain what some of them look like, because you told me they were hilarious.
One of them was this picture, I think it's an old picture of Tom Selleck.
Are you sure it was
naked.
Tom Selleck?
It's either him or who's the guy? God, why can't I think of his name? He looks just like
Mustache?
Yeah. Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds.
It was either him or Burt Reynolds from back in the day.
And naked. He's naked?
Well, he's naked, but he's like covering his junk with his hands.
Perfect.
So that you don't see anything.
He has a lot of chest hair, Burt Reynolds.
Yeah. One of them was like some fat black guy in like this leotard with his like man boobs hanging out. And
awesome.
There was a ton of them. And I assumed it was you at first.
You said, I looked at these. These things are hilarious. There's one where there's a guy getting fucked up the ass, making this hilarious face.
But it's censored. It's censored.
You don't see the actual penetration, but you can see enough of what's going on. And they were on a workout bench.
Yep.
And it says, guys on Grindr be like, looking for a workout buddy. And there's clearly somebody fucking somebody while sitting on a bench press.
Yeah.
Or, what was the, oh, god damn, it was the other one. There was some naked guy covering his junk. It says, would you like a piece of cake? I frosted it for you.
Yeah. But it's like, I still don't know who the hell did it. I think it's hilarious.
I think it's hilarious.
But then this dude, I looked on his page and he's got a couple pictures of him, and it says he lives in same area code, like Minneapolis.
Yes.
And it's just weird because I've never seen this guy in my life. If the picture, like there was a few pictures where it looked like they were selfies from a bar, and you know, it's like where you would actually put up pictures of yourself. And I've never seen this guy before in my life. No idea who he is. That was the only thing really that was posted to me on Twitter that day, and it was like 20 some pieces of very suggestive gay porn. And it's like, well, I didn't delete it either. I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm gonna leave. I don't need to block him for that. I mean, it's not like he
was harassing you.
Yeah, it wasn't like harassment. I think it was funny.
It was only to you directly on Twitter. It didn't like post on your Twitter account.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was private.
Yeah, so that's why it's funny. I think it's funny. And I should post up my reaction. I should make a clip out of that stream on YouTube. I should just throw up a clip of me react. I'm reacting to it on stream.
Like your face is on camera?
Yeah, I'm literally on camera reacting to this saying, like, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh, I gotta see that.
I should make a short clip out of that because it's the strangest thing. I didn't want to bring it over to the screen that I was streaming with because, just in case, because I think you can post nudity on Twitter and you'll get banned on Twitch.
Oh, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of porn on Twitter. I didn't realize there was that much porn on Twitter.
Oh,
and when I discovered it, holy shit.
So that's why I was like, oh, I'm not going to bring it over and show people as it's because you get banned on Twitch if you show nudity.
Well, there wasn't any penises involved.
Yeah, so I could have brought it, but I didn't show it just in case there was one. But it did happen in real time, my reaction to it, so I should make a clip of that.
You remember years ago we went to Acme Comedy Club and we saw Doug Stanhope?
Yes.
That was a good show. Doug Stanhope, if you don't know who he is, he's this hilariously filthy comedian that's been going at it for like 35 years. He's just morally depraved, but he's got a very dark and biting social commentary, and he jokes about everything you normally wouldn't, like babies being born retarded with birth defects, abortion, alcoholism, drug abuse, suicide, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. He's great. He's got an equally as fucked up fan base, as evidenced by somebody such as myself. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's a group on Facebook called The Great White Stanhope, Doug Stanhope Fan Page. Today is April 2nd.
Yes.
Yesterday was April Fool's Day.
Yep.
Do you see where I might be going with this?
Yeah.
Where do you think I'm going with this?
That what from that site?
I may have put out a solicitation on the Doug Stanhope fan group page saying, it's going to be my friend's 35th birthday. We have a history of gay porn-related pranks. Would anybody like to help me blow up his Twitter account with some gay memes?
But it was only one guy who did it.
Nobody. There were 10,800 members of that group, and not everybody reads everything.
Yeah.
And he was the only one that was willing to do it for free. Some other guys like, yeah, if you want to throw me some money on PayPal. And all of a sudden I get this one guy that says, I got you. And then he sent me his Twitter handle. Now, I had no idea what that meant. And then I went to his Twitter page, and I started seeing these things. Like, one is a picture of Drake. It's 3 pictures of the rapper Drake.
Yeah.
Like, singing with his mouth open, like, with his eyes closed. Yeah. And another guy behind him from some video. And what the meme says is, when you've talked a big game, but then you feel the tip go in.
So this dude is like super gay.
No, he's not. He's just super awesome is what he is. Because when you called me the other night, I was leaving karate. I was in the drive-thru at Taco Bell. I had to try to save my reaction. And I tried to not laugh out loud into the phone much to give it away. But then as you were looking at his account, you're like, well, what the fuck? You follow him on Twitter. And I was like, shit, did he just figure it out? So because it was your birthday and April Fool's Day, I'm like, they're so close together.
Yeah.
That would be fun to see what would happen. I was hoping you would get hundreds or thousands of gay memes. Unfortunately, it was only like 14.
But I don't know. It was funny as it was happening. So it's like it's a harmless prank. So.
It is a harmless prank because it's your Twitter account and not like your phone number.
Yeah, and it's not like my Facebook page where it's like my family and stuff is on there too either. That would be pretty weak.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was going to be because if you tweet at somebody, if you put any character besides the @ symbol first, it will go to their wall, to their Twitter page.
Yeah.
So he made them private.
Yeah.
Now, had they been right there on your Twitter account, I would have laughed my ass off considerably more.
Yeah.
But the Dirty Bee and I showed her everything that this guy sent you. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And we got a good chuckle out of that one.
Yeah, the people in the chat thought it was pretty goddamn funny. But it was like, I don't know. That shit doesn't really bother me. It's kind of, I thought it was just some really gay dude who, I don't know if it puts your birthday on Twitter like it does on Facebook. It's on Facebook where it alerts everybody about your birthday and people are like, hey, I care. I remembered your birthday. Even though it's like Facebook sends an alert. It's like, okay.
It sometimes does. I think it alerted me a few times on Twitter about Reese Hartfeldt's birthday when that happened, or maybe Dr. Murr's birthday. Either way, I figured that I don't know why I never thought in the past to prank you on your birthday because it's so close to April Fool's Day.
No, but we've pulled a prank that's been talked about on here before to other people. Pretty much around my birthday.
Yes.
So,
but that's different because 1 year you were involved, and 1 year it was me up in the ante on him, and you weren't. So this year I was like, well, I got to get somebody back in the loop. You've always been the pranker. Time to be the pranky.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you had a good spirit about it.
You're listening to Blumpkin&Friends.
And now we've come to the point of the show where it's time to play a game. You won't be playing the RPS challenge.
Okay.
You won't be playing Guess Who Karaoke Roulette.
Okay.
You will be playing Word Orgy.
Word Orgy.
2 unrelated items that make up one new phrase. And if you get the answer, I'll heap on you my praise. Some of them may seem too hard, but I won't let you quit. So pay very close attention to both my descriptions. Pop culture icons and other random shit. It's time to play Word Orgy. How many will you get? You understand how the game works now. You've listened to enough
Yes.
episodes to figure it out.
And
I don't need to explain it, but there's a visual aid behind your head on the wall I created so you can figure this out. See?
Yeah. What is there a theme?
There is no theme.
Okay.
There's no theme. These are just 10 random Word Orgy phrases that I created. They're of various pop culture
Also known
levels.
from Wheel of Fortune as
before and after.
Okay, just making sure that for that.
Oh, I've outed myself as a rip-off artist, but I just do it better than they do. Because you just wait for letters and then guess.
Well, that and yeah.
Mine, you have to guess by reading a clue. So, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
A movie with Vin Diesel in space and a Patrick Swayze film with 18-wheelers.
With Vin Diesel in space would be Chronicles of Riddick, but I don't know what the 18-wheelers movie is. Chronicles of Riddick, Patrick Swayze movie from the 80s.
It was actually from the late 90s, possibly as late as 2001, but it involved 18-wheelers.
I thought that movie was. I thought the only movie like that I can think of is called Black Dog. I think that was a trucker movie.
Go on.
So I would just say, what Chronicles of? I mean, I don't understand what Riddick would be.
They share a common word in the middle.
Oh, in the middle?
Yeah. The first answer ends on a word that also starts the second answer.
Yeah, I thought it was. So it'd be.
You figured out the second half.
So it'd be backwards.
No.
I don't know what.
That would be Pitch Black Dog.
Oh, Black Dog. God damn it! I
Pitch
think
Black.
Pitch Black.
Come on, that was the
so
movie
close.
that debuted the Riddick character.
I had it right too. I had it there.
Chronicles of Riddick.
Fuck!
You son of a bitch. Number 2. A racist cooking show host and a famous suspense novel author.
Oh, the cooking show host's name I can't remember. So something was her last name Steven is the question. No.
A racist cooking show host and a famous suspense novel author.
I don't know. I don't even remember who the cook that was that got in trouble for that. If you
Just keep in mind that when I read the clues, I will never use a word from the phrase in the descriptions.
Yeah. But I know her. Yeah.
It is Paula Dean Koontz.
Paula Dean Koontz. Okay.
Paula Dean.
But I couldn't remember who the chef was. I remember that happening, but I don't remember the names.
Only 8 more.
Names are bad.
Names are bad.
Well, I'm bad with names and dates.
Number 3. A yearly preventative inoculation and slang for somebody who's very important in a criminal organization.
Someone who's very important in the criminal organization.
A yearly preventative inoculation and slang for somebody who's very important in a criminal organization.
Well, I don't know about the shot, but I don't know what you call that. I mean, I don't know.
God, you're tap dancing around it so much right now.
There's something shot, but I don't know what the head of the criminal organization would be besides just boss. And I was thinking Godfather for some reason, but
that would be flu shot caller.
Oh,
a shot caller. Someone who calls the shots.
I guess.
Well, there's no I guess. That's what the fucking answer is.
Maybe if you're an asshole, you call them that. Who calls their boss? Yo, what's up, shot caller?
It's just slang. You don't call them shot caller. It's what they are. You're describing.
I don't remember that in the Godfather. I don't remember that in the Godfather. Huh.
Yes, because that's the only movie they've ever fucking had criminal.
I don't remember that in Goodfellas.
Now go home and get your fucking shine box.
Number 4, a type of solar output and a Ghostbuster.
Sun Ray Winston, or what's his Ray Winston? Something Ray Winston.
Something Ray.
Hey, what's it? Not Winston's fucking. What's his stupid last name? Ray. I'm just close on all of these, but Solar Ray.
A type of solar output and a Ghostbuster.
So
keep in mind, I won't use a word from the answer in the description.
It would be Sun Ray. Man, I can't remember his last name. The names are. I'm really bad with remembering names.
UV Ray Stance.
Okay.
UV Ray.
Well, I'm sure Sun Ray would have been accepted. It's the same fucking thing.
No.
Fuck you.
Number 5. You are not doing good. Just so you know, Lunchbox has the top score at 6 out of 10. Mm-hmm. Dr. Murr and Nurse Ashley are tied at 5 out of 10. The worst score ever was A.A. Ron. Mm-hmm. He went 0 of 15. So since I'm keeping the top, we're doing out of 10 for the records, he's 0 of 10. Right now you're 0 for 4. Number 5. A film starring 2 American Idols and the daughter of Al and Peggy.
From Justin to Kelly. What's their fucking last name? Why do you always have to make it names, you dick?
That's why it's fun.
Al, Peggy.
A film starring 2 American Idols and the daughter of Al and Peggy.
Yeah, that's the thing is I have it, but it's from Justin to Kelly. I just can't remember their last name in that damn show.
Seriously? You can't?
Hang on. Bud. Let's see, what was the kid? I'm drawing a blank.
Seriously? From Justin to Kelly Bundy.
How did I not fucking remember that?
Motherfucker. Number 6.
Fuck me.
A famous NASCAR driver and the lowest legal level of crime.
NASCAR driver, lowest level of crime.
Lowest legal
level of crime.
Level of crime.
Misdemeanor.
Or classification of crime.
That's where I'm drawn. I'm into NASCAR drivers. That'd be.
Neither am I, but I still pulled this name out of my ass.
If it's a standard, if it's one of the like well-known ones.
Yeah, he's pretty fucking well-known.
It would either be Jeff Gordon or Dale Earnhardt.
I can offer no other clues.
But then what's the low level of crime would be a misdemeanor.
That would be Kyle Petty misdemeanor.
Oh, Kyle Petty. Oh, Petty. A petty misdemeanor. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Number 7. Well, you may run the table.
Okay.
Not in the good
way. I got a few more chances to beat the 0.
4 more chances. The real name of a recently deceased pop icon and a former South African president.
A recently deceased pop icon? How recent are we talking is what I'm thinking.
The real name of a recently deceased pop icon and a former South African president.
God damn it. I'm trying to think of what the real name would be. Unless it's... I don't know. What do you have for this?
Prince Rogers Nelson Mandela.
That's his full name is
Prince Rogers Nelson.
Okay. I knew the Nelson Mandela part was going to be, but I'm like, what the hell? Who would be Nelson?
Well, you should start saying the part you know out loud and see if it jogs your memory.
Yeah, but I never knew that.
Number 8.
Okay.
A movie about girl power and a famous global military battle.
Well, that can be one of two, so it's either Spice World War I or Spice World War II.
It was Spice World War II. I will give you that one. So you did not
suck it.
Pointless in this. That's good. That's good. It's good to.
You're like it's pretty sad that I remember Spice World and not Pitch
No, it's
Black.
not.
Okay.
I almost wanted to use a clue involving the song title "Wannabe."
Well, I mean that's an American classic. I mean that's up there with Citizen Kane.
Spice World. It probably should have won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Number 9. A state that borders Canada and an actress known for War of the Worlds.
North Dakota Fanning.
It is North Dakota Fanning. That's 2 in a row.
Right.
Heating up! I'm going to use NBA Jam sound effects in this game.
Nice.
Number 10. So final one. So if you get it, that's 3 in a row. That'd be nice. That'd be a hat trick at the end. A rapper from the Carolinas and the godfather of Colombian cocaine.
Colombian cocaine?
Yeah, as opposed to, like Zimbabwean cocaine.
What was the first part of the clue again?
A rapper from the Carolinas and the godfather of Colombian cocaine.
I don't know. Was that Cesar Romero? I don't know. No, that's the freaking Mexican cartel guy, right?
Cesar Romero played the Joker on the old 1970s Batman show.
What the fuck is the Mexican cartel guy's name?
Are you talking about El Chapo?
No, I thought it was something else. I give up. I don't remember the names. You always have to make them about fucking names.
Well, names are a very easy jump-off point. Keep in mind, I've thought up over 350 of these.
Pitch Black Dog.
It's not Pitch Black Dog, but nice to try to bring it full circle. The answer is P.D. Pablo Escobar.
Oh, Pablo Escobar. That's
P.D. Pablo.
God damn you, Cesar Romero.
North Carolina. Come on and raise up. Pop your shirt off. Spin it around your head. Twiddle it like a helicopter. Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's good to give that guy a mention. He probably needs it.
And I'm going to write your name at the bottom. Neil. 2 of 10. It's going in the pile. You tried. You
did not get a...
You did not do so good.
No goose egg, at least.
Well, that's something. Plug your Twitch account. Anyone interested in watching him play poker online?
Yeah, it's twitch.tv/AOS_Pyro Chaos, PYROCHAOS. You can put it in the link description too if you want.
I can, because that's a mouthful. Interact with the show on Twitter at Blumpkin Show. That is at Blumpkin Show. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/group/Blumpkin&Friends. I'm the Reverend Johnny Blumpkin.
Neil.
Good night.
Hello, sir. I was informed by a mutual acquaintance that you were the person to talk to about purchasing some hardcore gay pornography. Is this true? I hoped so. Also, the dirtier the better. I'm not talking about that softcore crap. I'm talking about the kind where guys blow guys, while getting fucked by other guys. The sooner you can supply this to me the better, as I cannot wait to see some hot guy on guy action.